Now, why is a multidisciplinary approach to FASD diagnosis so important?
Yeah, it's really important because we really need to understand all the different areas that an individual functions in. And so typically we think about understanding what an individual's cognitive level is. And that's certainly a piece of it. And typically a psychologist would provide an assessment of that piece. But we also need to understand other elements like how an individual communicates, how an individual's motor skills work. And I mean, they're large motor skills, like they're the kind of things you'd use in gym or in an activity like sports, but also how their small motor skills work. So how their handwriting functions, how that impacts daily life. We have to understand how they can apply what they know, what their abilities are, into day-to-day activities. That's adaptive functioning. And often we find that cognitive functioning of an individual who may be alcohol affected is different than what their adaptive functioning is, how they apply that work. And I think that understanding all of the elements of an individual really helps. So when we have a speech and language therapist do an assessment of communication skills on an individual, their assessment really helps us understand what is an individual understanding out of their environment. How can we adapt our conversation skills to meet their needs? How can we adapt our written conversation, the forms we fill out day to day, the assignments we have to do in school? What can we do to make them really shine in what they're needing to do for us? How can we adapt some of the sensory things that we experience in everyday life to meet the needs so that somebody's comfortable? If, for example, you think of a typical a typical government office that you might go into, apply for housing or to fill out a form for something, they're usually busy offices. They have lots of signs. There's fluorescent lighting. It might be noisy if it's particularly busy. There's lots of written signs, lots of instructions that you have to follow in specific order. That can be very overwhelming for a person with FASD. And I think there are simple things that we can do that can be really helpful. And quite frankly, when we do those things to help someone with FASD, we actually help everybody with those things.
Yes.
So I don't think we need to think of those as special, although a lot of the time we do. I think we can think of those as helpful and keeping things clear for everybody.